Welcome to Mirrors Maze, your daily dose of reactions, reviews, and everything in between. I'm Mira, and today I got my notes, I got my show, and we will be reviewing Put a Ring on It Season 2. So, as we know from last week, the couples will not only be going on dates this week, but they will be going on dates at the same time at the same place as their spouses. A recipe for disaster, but also a recipe for good reality television. So our first couple, we're gonna just get right into Jessica and Eric because this week Eric was actually on his best behavior. He was not showing his ass when her date came. He wasn't combative. He wasn't shutting the door in the man's face. He wasn't making a joke of the situation. Like, he was actually supportive of her going on her date. And I think it really took Jessica by surprise. And I actually don't think she liked it because part of me thinks that all of these couples get a kick out of the jealousy that this brings out of their partner, with the exception of like LaRonda and Sean, because he has mental breakdowns, and I think that LaRonda would opt to not have to deal with that. But other than that, I think the other couples actually enjoy making each other jealous. So the fact that she wasn't getting that out of him this week, I don't think it set right with Jessica. So I was also very weak because to me, Clarence, he very much looked like Eric to me, with more facial hair and a better hairline and more hair in general. I think them boys could be brothers, cousins, something somewhere down the line. If they were typecasting for what Jessica's type might be, then they were on the money because he looked like Eric to me.
I'm Clarence. I'm 33 years old. I'm a pro bodybuilder, very, very athletic. I'm overall just funny and entertaining guy.
So when we get to the scene where Eric walks in the room, it was as if Jessica did not know what was happening, what this episode was hitting for. As if she was just shocked.
A week.
Yeah.
So I got another appointment like 2 weeks to finish off, and then that is.
Everything is going like perfect, and then all of a sudden I see my man Eric walk in.
Like, because she completely fell apart. Like, the rest of her date might as well have just not happened because it was literally centered around Eric, her looking over to see what was going on. And to my surprise, Eric was being very mature. Like, yes, he did let the girl know, like, hey, that's my girlfriend over there. But that was really the only mention of it. Like, she took note. She was like, oh, she's very beautiful. And they went on about their business. They had a nice conversation. It was a good date. So we saw Jessica slip showing more so than Eric's this episode. She was squirming, honey. So when they get home and they get the opportunity to talk about the dates, Eric was talking about how good the conversation was, how easy it was, and how much depth they actually had in their conversations. And that was something different for him. And I think it made him realize that that is something that he lacks with Jessica. And Jessica shut down. And that to me was the response that just proves him right. It validates exactly what he's saying. Because instead of you taking that opportunity to have a deep conversation, to actually hear what he's saying, you just shut down completely. And that just makes it hard to even want to have deep conversations with you because clearly you can't handle it. And later on, when they meet with the doctor, it just further validates everything he's saying because he even tells the doctor, like, it made me realize we're lacking some depth in our relationship. And you could just see it in her face. She just doesn't want to hear it. And she also has a habit of what she says or what she thinks to be or what she thinks of Eric, she thinks is just right. Like, she doesn't even give him a chance to speak for himself because she thinks that she knows what he's going to say already. And I like that the doctor put her in her place. Like, your perspective of him is not always who he is going to show up to be. Just because you've known him for all these years, it doesn't mean he can't change. And it doesn't mean you're right on the money about every move that he's going to make.
It's one thing to know your partner. It's another thing to think you always have the color palette to paint in everything about them.
I was very glad to hear the doctor put her in her place about that. And also, this episode revealed to me that Jessica is very much swimming on the shallow end of the pool. Like, no, Eric did not choose to go on a second date with this girl. Like, as nice as the conversation was, he did say, hey, you know, I do have to be attracted to her. There does have to be some attraction there. And Jessica, she was reveling in that, honey. That's the first time we actually, you know, saw her smiling and everything. But it actually made me realize that Jessica relies heavy on her looks. But let me tell you, Jessica, just because this one didn't take your man doesn't mean a woman with that personality can't come in and take your man, honey, because the looks can only get you so far. As you can see how far y'all have come in y'all relationship, and he's saying y'all still don't have any depth. That many years in, y'all should have some depth. So if you think that your looks alone is going to be able to carry a relationship, or if you don't think that there's not another woman out there that might look better and have the bomb personality, then you are sadly mistaken. Like, Jessica, I like you, but you want to step your cookies up before they crumble, honey, because them looks is only going to get you so far. So let's move on. We got Shine and LaRonda, and Shine has surprised the heck out of me. Like, in the very beginning, from the first initial introduction to the couples, I actually thought that they came off as the most mature couple. Shine was probably the most reasonable out of the men that we were dealing with, and he has done a 360, honey, and shown himself to be a completely different person than who I thought he was going to be, because, honey, he's back with the dramatics this week. When he walked in, LaRonda's ironing his little clothes that he's gonna wear on the date. He walked right back out when he saw the dress she was wearing.
That's alright.
Hello.
Why are you wearing that?
Why am I wearing what?
Like, he's like, why are you wearing the dress? And whew, Shine. He got some real serious insecurities and real jealousy. Like, I don't think he's putting on for the show or putting on. I think this is real. So they did Shine dirty also by bringing in Sir James. Now, while that name is atrocious, that man looked good. He was tall. Like, him and Shine standing next to each other was almost laughable. Like, he sunned him without even saying anything, just by standing next to him.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, bro?
You coming in. My baby dating a linebacker, you know, or he a superhero, low key. Probably got a couple of tackles, but guess what? He ain't tackling nothing tonight.
And it was funny. It was really funny. But, whew, it's just hard to see. Shine's just falling apart. He done said that man looked like a superhero. Like, I just did not think that he would act like this, but it's funny. So when they do end up at the same place, honey, Shine could not keep it together. He was falling apart. Like, he was straining his neck to see everything that was going on. He was all in their conversation. I just don't even think that his date got anything out of him because he was so fixated on what was going on with LaRonda and Sir James.
And at that point, I am no longer focused on Brittany. I'm sorry, but I'm just like, what is going on?
It's like, and this Sir James, that is such a horrible name, but that, you make up for it, honey. Poor Shine, though, he had hell this episode. So then we get to Darian and Alexia. And Darian's date let it be known that she's not interested in playing second fiddle or being made to feel like a side chick, even though she knows what it is with the girlfriend situation. Like, she's not going to continue to go on dates where she just feels like she's just going along to get along. She made that clear. So I don't like how Darian just kind of throws Alexia under the bus every chance he gets. Like, why would you tell this woman that Alexia is intimidated of her? Like, even if that is the case, like, don't put her out there like that. Like, he just does not protect her whatsoever, and I really do not like that. Like, now he did get super awkward when Alexia walked in with her date.
Now, look who's coming through that door.
Awkward.
And I do think he cares for Alexia. I do think he loves her, and I do think that seeing her with other people bothers him, but I also don't think it would bother him to be with someone else. He just wants his cake and eat it too. He wants to date other people, he wants to sleep with other women, but he still wants to have that access to Alexia and for her to not be able to do those things. To me, that's my opinion. That's what I'm getting from it, because he does seem to enjoy going on these dates, and as we see this week, he wants to go on a third date with this same woman. So there's something there, and it's just, I don't like it. So it was very awkward when she came, to the point where they had to leave, and when Alexia saw him leaving with her, oh, they had her full attention, honey. When she seen her with his hands, oh, she said, we're gonna have to let them hands go though.
We gonna let hands go. We gonna let hands go. Seeing Kai and Darian holding hands, leaving the restaurant, I was annoyed, I was aggravated, I was disappointed. I felt very disrespected.
What's going on?
We gonna let hands go.
We don't have, this is...
Darian, don't get hit.
Like, she was not feeling it at all. And I really wish she just wouldn't have said anything, because that, with him telling her that she was intimidated by her, it just doesn't, it's not a good look for her. But Alexia gave her date absolutely nothing. Like, he even tried pulling something out of her. Like, when she told him, that's my man over there, he was like, oh, okay. He didn't care too much about it.
Well, just to kind of be honest, my boyfriend is right there.
It's about you. It's your energy on. I'm just gonna feed off your energy. So what you...
But she continued on and talking about him being a celebrity, and I wish she would just stop with that, because nobody knows this man. So then she expresses that one of the problems is because he's always allegedly in the studio, and I'm like, well, yes, that most definitely is a problem, Miss Alexia, because we have not heard a song from Field Mob in years, since the early 2000s. So if his excuse for always being out is being in that studio, that is very problematic. So in the group setting, Alexia and Darian are still arguing about the holding hands. So you know, afterwards they went home and argued about it. We didn't see it, but you know that was definitely an argument if y'all still arguing about it in front of the doctor. And I like how the doctor put her in her place also, by maybe if you were focused on your date to begin with, it wouldn't have even got to you that they were holding hands, because you would be too busy enjoying yourself. And I agree. If you would have just been minding your business, or even if you would have saw the hand holding and still just like played it dust, then maybe you could have got something out of your date. But Alexia has seemed to lost herself to some degree. Like, I don't know what it is, but there seems to be some sadness to her. And I just don't understand why every date you end up talking about this man instead of yourself. It's like, you are your own individual. I don't get it. There's something there, and it just does not give me a good feeling. And it doesn't make me feel like rooting for them or that they should continue a relationship, because it does not seem healthy. So, like I said, Darian chose to go on this third date, and I'm like, at this point, you want to see this woman have a connection, because why do you keep doing this to her? And then it's like, if you genuinely that quickly have started to see something serious with someone else, then that further validates y'all just don't need to be together. But we gonna see how it's gonna go, honey. Next week shows us that there is more drama to come, not only for the other couples, but specifically for Darian and Alexia, and I can't wait to see it. So I'll be back next week with my review as usual. Y'all make sure that y'all like, comment down below, and of course subscribe, and I will see y'all next week.